Hello and welcome to another edition of the Online Theatre School. My name is Lawrence Kavanagh and today you're going to be doing a task called the phone call. What that means is you're going to be pretending that you've received a phone call. Not just one phone call, but 5 phone calls. This task is a really good way to practice the subtleties of acting using your face, your voice, and your body language. Okay, so the 5 fake phone calls that you're going to pretend to receive today are all going to show a range of varying emotions. One phone call is going to be that you've won the national lottery. The second phone call is that you've received some sad news. The third phone call is a scary phone call. The fourth phone call is that you've got your dream job. And the fifth phone call is that you didn't get your dream job. But don't worry about that now. Firstly, let's talk about what you need to do to make your phone calls as realistic and believable as possible. Now, this can be tricky because you have to convince the audience that you are on the phone. But at the same time, they don't know what's being said, so you need to get across what's being said without repeating what you're hearing. So there's lots and lots and lots of complications all in this phone call. Now, when you receive a phone call and they can't hear the other side of the phone call, what's really important is that you show your emotion through your face, but you don't go overboard. So you don't do this. Because no one does that on the phone. At the same time, nobody, when you're on the phone, sits there like this the whole time. So it's about balancing realism and being natural on the phone, but also about acting and telling the audience what's being said and what's happening. So one of the things you can do is you can use the pauses. Now, frequently when we're on the phone, oh, okay, yeah, really? We allow the other person to speak. We don't do this. Yeah, I know. Right. Okay. Yeah, sure. Right. Yeah. Right. Brilliant. Thanks. Okay. Unless you're really rude, we don't do that. What we do is we allow pauses. And the best thing to do is imagine that somebody else is speaking. So when you're making this phone call, actually imagine that somebody is saying the words that you're thinking. So for example, if you're doing the lottery phone call, I want you to be on the line and actually visualize and hear somebody saying to you, we've got some great news, you've won the lottery. Or the build up to that conversation. Are you sat down? Are you ready to listen to this? We need to tell you something that we've got some good news to share. Is your name XYZ? Now, by leaving the pauses and visualizing they're saying those things, naturally, you will start to react in a more realistic manner. Now, as well as the pauses, I want you to think about what your eyes are doing and what your face is doing. At the same time, what would you normally be doing during a phone call? So your eyes may wander. Right. Okay. So you do the normal things you would do on the phone. Let your eyes wander around, leave the pauses, maybe nod along because you do that when you're on the phone, even though they can't see you. But also your facial expressions are really important because the difference between this and a normal phone conversation is the audience needs to work out what's happening. So this is where your facial expressions and your voice comes into play. The tone of your voice, the intonation of your voice. If you're not sure what intonation is, there's an online theatre school video about intonation and the use of voice. So if someone's talking to you about something that's sad that's happened, that needs to be reflected in your voice and in your response, and in your facial expressions, and in your body language. Just because it's a phone call, we're trying to tell the audience what's being said. 1, pauses. 2, eyes. What are your eyes doing? 3, facial expressions. 4, body language. And 5, the tone of your voice. Your voice will reveal what is happening. If it's fast and quick and you want more information, you might be speaking like this. What do you mean? No, when? How? What? When? Yeah? So, use your voice to tell the story. Use your voice to convey what the phone call is, whether it's good or bad or whatever it is you're hearing. So, I want you to practice getting a lottery win. You've just been told you've won millions of pounds. Millions of pounds. I want you to react to that on the phone. Now, don't start your phone call like this. Really? I've Yeah? Build it up a little bit. Have a scene. Make the scene about 2 to 3 minutes long, like a normal phone call. No one rings you up and says, hello, you've won the lottery. And if they have, it's probably a scam. The second one is bad news. So we practice doing good news, the lottery win, and now I want you to practice receiving some bad news. Now, the level of bad news can be up to you. It might be a bereavement. It might be something smaller. It might be something bigger. That's up to you. I don't want to tell you what your bad news should be, but I want you to practice receiving bad news on the phone. Interesting. Try and work out what was different between the phone call when you got good news and a phone call when you got bad news. What did you do differently with your face, your eyes, your body language, and your voice? Now, the third one I want you to do, can be quite fun or quite interesting, is you receive a scary phone call. Now, I'm going to let you interpret that how you want. Some of you may have seen the film, if you're old enough, seen the film Taken. If you haven't seen the trailer for Taken, I'll put the link below. But the film Taken uses him receiving a scary phone call, and watch how he reacts. And the last one is I want it to be from an employer, telling you that you have got your dream job, and then switch it around and do it again, being told you haven't got that job. This is a really great task for practicing subtleties. What I don't want is you to be overly dramatic, over the top, a bit like me. I want you to really think and play around with the subtleness of a phone call. You may have seen it before in theatre or screen when people receive a phone call. You know what's going on. It's brilliant. You know what's being said, even though you're not privy, even though you haven't got the knowledge of what's being said. You can read everything by the actor's face and voice. So this is why I want you to practice it. So just to recap, think about your eyes, think about your face, think about your body, think about your voice. Don't forget your pauses. You must think about pauses because that's really important. Of the realism of the scene. It must be realistic. Really think about as if you're talking to somebody in real life. So, lottery win, bad news, scary phone call, job, you got it, job, you didn't get it. The phone call. I'm really, really keen to watch some of these back. Make sure you upload them using the hashtag Online Theatre School. And please do make sure you subscribe. Online Theatre School. We have lots of online lessons for you, as well as interviews with industry professionals. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you soon.